Okay guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be test riding the test rides like we always do this week. Let's go to the Pista Aston Custom. Now this one you can only get on the PS5 and Xbox Series X, only because it's an HSW vehicle. So let's give this thing a test drive. Okay, so we've got the Pista Aston Custom. This is a nice looking vehicle. I don't really know how it sounds because I haven't got... Okay, let's give this thing a test drive. Okay, so already I like the sound of the car, but the most important thing about a car is to see how well it can take a corner. And to be very honest, I'm already looking at this car and I don't see this taking corners very well. See? I had my turning on that whole time and it was like so wide. Yeah, this car's not very good at turning, so I wouldn't really recommend this car. Looks, it's okay. I don't really like the look of this thing. Nah, I can't recommend this to you guys, I'm sorry. But I can't recommend you get this car, even if you have a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. So, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so we're going to start with this vehicle right here. The Photo GTX. Let's take this thing for a test drive. So, I'm going to come right out and say it. I don't like the look of this car. And I don't know if I like the way it sounds either. Okay, I'm not even going to test this that much. I can already tell you, don't buy this car. This is already a trash car. After that first turn, I knew instantly that you should not buy this car. Don't buy it. It's a waste of money. It may not be expensive, but just don't waste your money on it. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of a car, probably. Okay, so now we have the OB Tailgate S. Let's take this thing for a test drive. Okay, so this is the OB Tailgate S. Let's take a look and see how this thing sounds. Okay, so I already like the way this thing sounds. This thing sounds amazing. But what I'm more interested in is the fact if it could turn well. Okay, maybe it could turn a little too well. So far, all good points point towards buying this car so far. The only thing that I'd suggest recommending is if you're a good driver, unlike me, you should consider getting this car. So if you're a good driver, get this car, but if you're not, then maybe just avoid this one. The turning on this car is great. It's just a matter of if you can handle the car very well. Because it kind of feels a bit weird to turn on the way it turns. But I do like the car, and I'm probably gonna maybe even say I'm gonna buy it, maybe. But I think I might already have it. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the next one we're gonna test is this one. Now I'm kind of interested to see how this car performs, but we've got the Vapid JB200. Let's go. Okay. So I already like the look of the car. I don't really like the sound of the car, to be very honest with you, but I do like the look of it. Let's see how well I can take corners. Okay, this car can take corners amazingly. I quite like the way this thing can take corners. It's got quite a large... It's not got a big turning thing, like it's not going to be like incredibly wide like most cars are, so like you can just go straight in there and just turn like anything. This car is honestly one of the coolest looking cars in my opinion. I quite like the look of this one. Would I recommend it? Probably. I would recommend buying this car. It's actually a really nice looking car too. But anyway guys, let's move on to the Simeon cars and see how well they perform. Okay, so I've made it to here. Let's start with the NS Eros. A very nice looking car. Let's take this thing out for a test drive. So this is the NS Eros. So to be very honest, this car reminds me of another game, which I used to play a lot when I was a kid, and to be very honest, I don't really play it that much now, because it's on PS2. But the point is, this car has some history in my head, so blindly I would probably say buy the car because it resembles another game for me. But yeah, if it turns okay, I like the way it turns. It looks amazing, it sounds amazing. Let's take it back and we'll test drive another car. Okay, so the next car we're going to test is the Phoenix, a very, very old car, launched right when the game started. Let's take this thing out for a test drive. So the Phoenix here is worth 20k. I do wish this car was available to purchase, but unfortunately it's not. So you're either going to have to find this car, or it's not going to be easy to find. So get it this week or find it on the streets. That's all I can really say. This car can perform wheelies if you put a wheelie bar on it, but this car also isn't that bad looking. When it's fully customized, it looks really, really good. I quite like the way it looks when it's fully customized. But overall, this car is okay. I wouldn't say get it. I'd only say get it if you can find it on the streets. If you can't, then, well, I guess this is your next option, right? So this car doesn't perform too bad. I like it. Let's see another one. Okay, so the next car we're going to test is the Bravado Gauntlet Classic. Let's go. Alright, so I actually know nothing about this car, so let's just give it a test drive. So, first impressions, I like the way it sounds. But what I'm more interested in is if this thing can perform a wheelie right on the spot. Nah, it can't. It needs a wheelie bar. If this thing even has a wheelie bar. But the point is, I want to see how well this thing can take a corner now. Okay, I've already had to slow down a bit just to make sure this car can actually take a corner. Let's see. This thing perform alright. Okay, so it's not going to take corners at sharp speeds, but if you're going to make corners like this, you're going to have to slow down a lot. See, just slow down a lot, just make that turn, and we are good to go. So would I recommend this car? Like I said in the last one, probably not. I wouldn't say you could find this on the streets, because you're going to have to buy it, I think. So overall, do I recommend this car? Probably not, really. I wouldn't recommend this car. There's a car that's very similar to this, the Phoenix, the car we tested before. The only thing that's really going to be interesting on this car is if you have the big spoiler on the back, but it's not really that important, so I wouldn't recommend it. Sorry guys, I wouldn't recommend this car. It performs great, but I just wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so the next car we've got is a DClass Vamos. Let's take this thing out for a test drive. Okay, so let's take this thing out for a test drive. Now, to me, the first impression I get with this car is lowrider. I honestly think this is a lowrider, but not all. Okay, this car is horrible. I just tried taking that one corner and it just spun out of control. Okay, no, let's give it another chance. Okay, so this car, it looks okay. It looks okay, don't get me wrong, this is only my opinion. I think it looks okay. I don't think I've ever test drive this thing when it's fully customized. Actually, you know what? It actually doesn't perform that bad. I take that back. It doesn't perform too bad. Anyway, would I recommend this car? Probably not. Because there is that odd occasion where you're going to have that little bit of a drift on like the side of two wheels or something. So, nah, I would not recommend you buy this car. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so here's the last one. Let's take this thing out for a ride. This thing is called the Karen Purbron. So let's go. Okay, so this car is called the Karen Purbron. Let's take this thing out for a test drive. Okay, so far first impressions, sounds okay. It performs pretty good. It looks great, I would say, but that's not all about what a car has to offer. What a car has to offer is that it needs to be able to take a turn nice and easily. So let's check this one. Okay, that's actually not too bad. It doesn't take that corner too bad. Anyway guys, I think I'm going to wrap up this video. Would I recommend you buy this car? Probably not. The only car I would recommend, maybe that fourth car we tested in the car meet, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend this car. But if you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!